Hey, all you podcast listeners, you can find Slice of the Paranormal everywhere podcasts are found, or you can watch us on our YouTube channel.
Hey, hi, hello there.
Hello.
And what's up? What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
I got my co-host Christy here, and this guy Steven, he's our historian slash
Geek.
we keep you in here, even when we're not.
If I'm not here, I'm chained to a book somewhere.
True story. But this is Steven, and I'm Ryan.
Yep, that's Ryan.
Slice of the Paranormal. We do talk about paranormal stuff, historical mysteries, witches, ghosts,
Goblins.
werewolves, vampires, and today
We're going to talk about Penn's Tavern, so that's a little bit of ghost and no goblins, though.
no goblins.
No goblins.
No goblins, but multiple ghosts.
They have a 0 goblin rating, I think.
They do, but they're not too far away from the Northumberland werewolf, so they
fair
got
enough.
a cryptid in their backyard.
Penn's Tavern
Penn's Tavern.
is in what city?
It's in Fisher's Ferry.
It's right outside
which
of
is
Sunbury, right?
Outside of Sunbury, it's south of Sunbury.
Central Pennsylvania.
Central Pennsylvania. But before we get into this, I want to, shout out the Cup of Code.
Cup Code.
Nice.
And also,
For all they do for us.
Nice.
They're great website that they provided us. And
Yep. If you see our website, that's them. Thank you, Cup of Code.
yep. And then also mention that we review pizza at the
We
end of
do.
the episode. So we will be reviewing a pizza shop then near Penn's Tavern, which Penn's Tavern does have food, really good food.
they do, but
got
not
food
pizza.
there.
not pizza.
Right.
Didn't we get food?
Yes, we did.
We did. We got food, but we didn't get pizza.
I got fish and chips.
Yeah,
I
they have
forget
good
what
food
I
there.
think I got.
Beans and toast.
I doubt it. That doesn't sound like me at all. So if anyone wants to visit this place, it's at 113 River Road, PA, PA 147, Sunbury, Pennsylvania.
South of Sunbury. And
Yeah, it's in between Sunbury and Herndon.
you can literally, it's right on a river.
It's on the
I think they
east
even
side
take,
of the
like,
river.
boats, right? Can you boat to it?
Yeah, they have certain. You can kayak there, and I
Kayak?
think certain they have events, like big
Just sit out
groups
in
of
the river.
people kayak
some
to it
music.
together, and have music and
Cool spot.
Yeah, I really want to do that this summer.
Kayak down there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should. That's cool.
it's been on my bucket list.
And as well, it should be. I mean, as long as I've lived in this area, that's Penn's Tavern's really well known for
Yeah,
their
it's a staple.
food.
Yeah.
When I was younger, the food was all German cuisine, where you got schnitzel. So even though the food no longer is so German heavy, like I remembered from my youth, it's still always been top notch.
Top
good
notch.
It is.
I remember just maybe a decade or two ago, a decade probably, and the food was top notch, but it was again different. It was more they had frog's legs on and venison burgers and you know what I mean, a little bit different. Now it seems to be a little bit more like pub food, but
a little more
but it was
Americanized.
fantastic, yeah.
type cuisine, but I've never gone there and been unhappy with
Yeah,
the food.
fair enough. Or drinks.
So, but beyond the food, there's other reasons people go to Penn's Tavern.
Right.
Penn's Tavern is locally known as, if you asked someone, what's the most haunted house in Sunbury, they're going to say Penn's Tavern.
Yep. We hear that a lot. People ask us, "Hey, when are you going to do Penn's Tavern?" So hopefully,
Yeah. They want to know about this place.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of legends about this place, and it's because it's rumored to be around 300 years old. So if you go to Penn's Tavern, the first thing you're going to see is they have a sign outside Penn's Tavern that says 1703 Penn's Tavern.
Yeah.
Okay.
1703.
You have
So-
that picture?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Now, here's a couple pictures.
But 1703 is when it was first built, correct?
Some would say,
Some would say.
but not me.
Oh, well, what would you say?
I would say that's complete hogwash.
Hogwash, you say?
I would. Now, here's why the 1703 date gets thrown there. The theory is that Chief Shikellamy gave the land to Conrad Weiser, and he built the stone building there. And that's what the legends are. Oh, Conrad Weiser built this in 1703.
Right.
Okay, so I'm a historian guy. So let's look into Conrad Weiser. Where was Conrad Weiser in 1703? Germany.
Germany.
And wasn't he a child at that point,
He was
too?
like 7 or 8 years old. So did Conrad Weiser build that?
7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
That ain't working.
So he didn't build that. He did not build that.
He did not build that. So when people like tell me that Penn's Tavern is the oldest building in Northumberland County, they're wrong. They're just full of it. The oldest building in Northumberland County, if that's what you want,
Here we go.
you go to the Hunter House, and in the neighbor's yard, if you
Keeps
walk
getting heated.
if you walk into the neighbor's yard, there's steps that go down into the magazine bunker for what was Fort Augusta. That is the oldest structure made by a white man in Northumberland County.
Fair enough.
And that was built in 1755.
So 1703 ain't happening.
So
1703
there was
is not
nothing there at
happening.
1703.
No.
Okay.
So, Conrad Weiser, he's a great man. He's an Indian interpreter, Chief Shikellamy. For those of us in central Pennsylvania, he's a great Indian chief, someone to look up to. So then...
Wait, who's a great Indian chief? Conrad
Shikellamy.
Weiser?
Chief Shikellamy.
Oh, I got confused. I'm sorry.
Chief Shikellamy is
Yeah.
why Pennsylvania is like lacking bloodshed till the French and Indian War. He essentially helped bridge the gap between the white culture and the provincial council and all the tribes.
Very big local legend.
He is. So we have like
Pennsylvania.
Chief Shikellamy
Very important
Park.
too, yeah.
Our school's named after him.
Yep.
He's very much revered because he was an Indian chief of peace.
Have you guys ever been able to see? You're supposed to be able to see his profile.
Oh,
when you
yeah.
look at
Yeah.
the mountain. I've never been able to make it out
It's just.
You have to look in the fall.
A profile.
in the fall.
And you go along Front Street in Sunbury.
Yeah.
And they have a gazebo. And if you're there in the fall, you can actually see.
It has to be from that specific spot.
it's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like
the angle.
Maybe that's what it is. I never looked from the right angle.
If you go to that angle, you can definitely see it in the fall. But now the foliage is going. You're
Well, I
screwed.
like the one where if you look across Sunbury towards Norrie, that it's supposed to be Chief Shikellamy or whatever over there.
That's what she's talking about.
No.
No?
So you're talking about the rocks, right?
I'm talking like the profile along the river.
Oh, my bad then.
Yeah.
Because now farther along the river, down past Danville, going towards Catawissa, there's or is it? Yeah.
No, that's
there's
right.
Same place?
You're talking about the
rocks that stick
the
out.
Indian head that sticks
Yeah.
out, and that's like over the road practically.
Yeah, like onto the road.
That one's a little
Sorry,
freakier.
I got confused.
Ooh, I don't
No.
know where. I never saw that either.
I'll have to show you that.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, that's because when we went out to the witch's grave, or not the witch's grave, the
Katie's Church.
the Hooded Cemetery,
Oh.
we rode separately, so I
Yep.
couldn't tell you guys
You weren't
stupid
hard.
history
That's
on the
right.
way.
You weren't tour guiding.
No, back to Penn's Tavern. Others claim that a guy named Samuel Ashmoody built this.
Ashmoody.
Or I'm butchering his name. And,
Oh, I like it.
My next door neighbor, John Moore, is going to yell at me for this because
Ashmoody.
it's maybe Achmoody or something like that. I don't know. But, look it up. I'm not the guy to
Yeah.
Pronounce
say names,
things.
pronounce things.
I just know stuff. I don't know how it's supposed to be.
I don't know
it
how you're
sounds.
supposed to say
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So who he is, he's a Revolutionary War soldier, and their theory is that if he built it more like 1791.
Okay.
And that's
a
Still
big
old.
It's still
difference.
very old, and it seems
You're right.
It seems
Big
more,
difference.
years almost.
Yeah, but that to me that seems more realistic.
Right.
And it's essentially operated as the eastern terminus for a ferry that took people from the east side of the river to the west side,
It's cool. Yeah, it makes sense.
which is why Fisher's Ferry
Yeah.
is called Fisher's Ferry.
That's the city that it's in.
Yeah.
So, and the ferry was operated by guess who? Adam Fisher.
Oh.
So,
Fishers.
hence Fisher's Ferry.
Ferry.
And he lived on the Isle of Q.
Oh, in Norrie there, in Northumberland.
Right outside
Oh, it's Selinsgrove.
Selinsgrove.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Selinsgrove.
So that's pretty much the origin legends of the building.
Okay.
So then that we get into the legends of the site. The first legend is that William Penn's grandson, a guy by the name of John Penn, reunited with his long-lost wife, Mary Cox. I'm waiting for the jokes. She had been taken captive and by the Native Americans and taken to Canada. And for many years earlier, during the Native American raid near Harrisburg is where she's captured.
Okay.
Now, Penn's family, he's like around 17, 18 years old at this time. They were not happy with him marrying Marie Cox.
Okay.
So, yeah, they didn't want him to have anything to do with the Cox. So.
Now, was it Pennsylvania by then?
Oh, yeah.
So they would have been a very wealthy, well-known family then.
Oh, yeah. The Penn family had a lot of money.
For listeners or viewers who might not know, William Penn is how Pennsylvania got its name.
Yeah, he's the founder. Anytime they do a trade or deal with the Native Americans, the Penn family gets to pick 10% of the land purchase, and they create it as a manor for the family. So that becomes theirs.
Dang!
The other 90% gets divvied up into towns. So when they get a certain section of land, the Penn family typically can get the best sort of land to build their estates on.
Not only do they get 10%, but they get the best 10%.
Yeah, they get the best. They get the first pick. So supposedly John, after she's been gone for a few years, he gets remarried. I have a picture of John Penn I sent you to give you an idea of what John looked like. And
so after who's been gone for a few years? This Cox lady?
Maria Cox. When she essentially she goes and he gets remarried, and then a couple years later he's in this building, and he hears that there's a woman upstairs dying. So he goes up to see the woman.
You could tell she was dying? Whatever. I'm just...
Well, the innkeepers could tell that she was dying.
So it's an inn at this point. So we're still talking about Penn's Tavern.
Yes.
It has turned into an inn at this point.
Yeah, well, it's always been pretty much an inn.
Okay.
It's been an inn. It's been a ferry. It's been used as a tavern, a post
But
office.
it started off as the ferry house.
Ferry house.
Ferry house.
And
If you go with the Adam Fisher angle of where it's begun, no one really knows.
Okay.
The actual origin of the building.
Okay.
So there's a lot of history and theories. But supposedly when he gets up there, he realizes it's his first wife. And he embraces her moments before her death.
It's for real in the flesh, not a ghost. It's really
not a
her.
ghost. This is
The
really
lady
her.
that's
So that's
dying.
crazy coincidence that they'd end
Heard
up
somebody-
there.
The moments before her death.
Just right before her
He's able
death.
to see her. That's crazy.
She dies the day that he runs into her there. Now, to give you some information on John Penn, who the hell this guy is, he's born in 1725, and he dies in 1795. He's the older son of Richard Penn and grandson of William Penn. After his elders forced him to repudiate his youthful marriage to the daughter of James Cox of London, he was then sent to the University of Geneva from 1747 until 1751. So the family made him divorce this woman.
That's craziness.
Is the actual knowledge.
How you do that?
And from 1751 to 1755, he spent time in Pennsylvania. So I'm thinking that the time frame that he would be meeting up with this girl is somewhere in the mid to late 1750s.
Okay.
Is the time frame that this has supposedly happened. 1755, he returns to England. He's chosen to be the lieutenant governor, and he returns to Pennsylvania.
Lieutenant governor of what?
Of Pennsylvania. So he's, he does a lot of things. He's, serves, returns to Pennsylvania, and he's the trustee for the Academy of Philadelphia. He also served as the board's president of the University of Pennsylvania. He lived in Lansdowne on the Schuylkill, and he's buried in Christ Church Cemetery in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Now,
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Trying to watch somebody from not around here spell school kill.
I have a problem with that.
I know. I think even right now I might have a trouble.
The
but
Native American names are hard to spell.
SCH.
no, it's. Oh yeah, you're right.
SCHUYLKILL.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Producer
job.
Mike says we're good.
Good job.
It sucks though.
Yeah.
I had to misspell it 3,000 times.
In order to
order to
cement
get to
it
that
in
point.
your head. Yeah. No, it is tough.
I am
Been a
not.
few. Nice job, Steve.
So like this Cox girl.
Threw him off.
Yeah.
He's like, Cox.
Supposedly he marries her in
Cox.
1747. So that would make him 18 years old. And the Cox family sued his family
Sued
for support.
at that time.
Like alimony.
Yeah. So
Well, makes sense. Like at that point, you just
who
wanted
sued
to.
people back then? Did you even? I never even heard of that kind of thing.
I guess just wealthy people, maybe.
That's why I never heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
now the lore is he met this girl in Switzerland, and I'm pretty much certain that none of that ever happened.
It's all fictitious.
All fictitious. Now I have a picture of what his wife really looked like. So
Well, yeah, it's a painting.
a painting. Well, a
depiction of her.
There's no photographs, Ryan. I couldn't get a Polaroid
Got
of her.
a dog in the picture too.
Yeah, but like what the ghost that they say is they think is the Mrs. Cox girl is always in a blue dress.
Aww.
So I'm thinking that this
her eyes might
image, because the Cox girl's not, there's no images of her. So when people type in John Penn's wife,
Yeah.
this is the image that's going to come up.
Screwed it all up.
Oh, way to go.
Screwed it all up.
She's in a blue dress. I take it.
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
So now,
Yep.
if there is any truth to it, supposedly the Penn family got the Native Americans to kidnap her in order to break them up.
Oh,
This is like,
wow.
They're like plotting against her.
They're plotting against
Him.
her and
Wait,
him.
her.
Well, I
Him,
just
Penn
really?
family.
they just don't think that she's good enough for him.
Oh, so it is her. Okay.
So he loves her, but the family does not. So if she ever existed, it was the Penn family who decided to get the Native Americans to kidnap her, take her
my
into Canada
gosh.
to break them up.
Or they just murdered her and blamed it on him.
But whether or not the story's true, it doesn't. And I always try to separate like the lore
Yeah.
is one thing, but people are seeing something at the site. So one of the things people see is they see a woman in a blue dress looking out the window upstairs.
A ghost of a
A
woman.
ghost of a woman. So is this legend, which is a common legend. In fact, the same legend is attributed to another house in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Is the legend attached to the phenomenon? You know, it doesn't mean the phenomenon's not happening. People are seeing a ghost woman there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's one of the theories, is that she, you know, it really did happen, and that she's haunting.
Cup of Code! Today's episode is brought to you by Cup O Code. Need a website or marketing solution that works as hard as you do? At Cup of Code, they don't just build websites, they create digital solutions that grow your business. From expert web design to targeted marketing, including Facebook, Instagram, Google Ads, and billboards, they've got you covered. Dream, design, develop. Visit cupofcode.com and take your business to the next level.
But like, so that's basically like we know of this person, we know her name, and there's this painting.
Of his actual second wife.
Right. But if it wasn't in this building and it was a number of different things, there could have been any number of people that may have passed away on or near the area.
Oh my God,
That
yeah.
could be also looking out the window.
And you have to take into account, like, this building is on the Tulpehocken path. So anyone that's coming from the, like, Reading region, Womelsdorf area, they would be traveling this path before roads were built. they were traveling on Indian Native American paths.
Right. So the amount of deaths that may have occurred anywhere near there.
There could be anybody could have died there.
Right.
And how many, people were separated,
Yeah. But then there's that kind of like human need to like name and label things. Like we can't just have a random ghost up in the attic. We have to actually figure out who it is.
You got to solve the mystery.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's what's happened here.
Mm-hmm.
They think that it's connected to when this story is being popular, they're thinking, oh, the building's connected to Conrad Weiser. He's connected to the provincial council, so that connects him to the Penns.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these names get thrown together, and the theories get to be that maybe this is who's haunting it.
Right. It's just
So
most
what,
fun too.
So she haunts this place.
A girl haunts the place in a blue dress.
In a blue dress.
I
haunts.
would say a girl in a blue dress. I would not give her a name because I think the story behind it
kinda weak.
doesn't pan out.
Do
Yeah.
they like to boast that it's that person?
It
Or
depends on who owns it. Some people have written write-ups. In fact, they've given you a write-up of it, and me as well.
Oh, yeah,
It
they
talks
gave me
about the
that, like,
history.
yeah.
And that write-up's been around Penn's Tavern for 20 years.
That's their lore.
That's the lore of the site. So people that are interested, they give them that. Some owners are pro the lore, they're not negative towards it, and others have kind of just downplayed it. They
Fair
don't
enough.
care. But there's a lot of ghost lore here, so there's something going on. For one, there's a female is seen on the staircase wearing a red dress. Now, this is not the same girl.
A red dress. So obviously a different girl.
Yeah, they think.
Ghosts can't change clothes.
No.
They don't.
What are you trying to do? Change clothes and be ghost?
So the girl in the red dress, the story is that either a woman or a Native American woman was assaulted by either travelers or whatever, and that she was buried in the basement.
Don't make it that kind of story.
I can't help it.
Sorry.
So supposedly, the woman in the red dress is a woman that was murdered at the site and was buried in the basement. So
Have they ever done any excavating in the
not
basement?
that I know of. I don't know if they've ever dug
Really?
it up.
That's crazy to me that they haven't, or even taken.
They
some,
might
like,
have.
GPR, like the ground penetrating radar or something, to get in
LiDAR.
there. Yeah, see if.
Yeah.
No, I saw a
Any
woman.
bones are in
I
there?
saw a ghost in a yellow dress. Is that anything?
No, you saw a ghost?
No,
in
I'm
it?
just kidding.
You're like,
Devil in a blue dress?
Just want to throw it out there.
Just want to see if there's a
He's
different
going to
colored
start
dress.
a new thing.
Yeah. Now the ghost I saw was in a pink polka dot dress.
A pink polka dot dress.
You didn't
And
see
had
that
a goose foot.
Yes.
Had a good, one goose
one? And
foot.
a pig head.
Now,
One goose foot.
a waitress supposedly, or this says a waitress, but I heard the story as a customer was coming to the building once, and that they looked into the door when it was closed, and they saw 4 soldiers sitting at a table playing cards.
Oh man, that's cool.
So,
Like Revolutionary?
no,
Or,
this was like Civil War.
Okay.
This is like Civil War soldiers.
Oh wow.
But I've also heard that a waitress saw the Civil War soldiers playing cards.
Oh, so multiple people have seen the Civil War soldiers.
They've also been seen at the bar. So, like, when you go into the front door,
Yeah.
there's that little bar off to your left-hand side.
Yeah.
Okay, that little bar.
That's
People
neat.
have seen the soldiers in that bar area.
Oh, that's
and,
cool.
like, in the kitchen. The other thing is, and I told you when we were there, like, I was like, oh, you got to use the bathroom, Christy.
Use the
Yeah.
ladies' restroom.
Use the ladies'
Yep.
restroom. Because the ladies' restroom, for whatever reason, locks itself so much that they would have to keep a butter knife handy because there'd be no one in the ladies' bathroom. Yet the hook
It would
and
latch
eye,
itself.
it would latch
Yeah.
itself in an empty room. So they'd have to slip a butter knife in through the crack to unlock this
Yeah.
door.
To this date, it still locks people in
It
there.
still
I'm pretty
locks
sure.
people in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm with my girlfriend the first time, and she got locked in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If it's not her, she's gonna be really mad at me when I tell this story.
That's all right.
Well, it's too late now.
I was there with some female.
I was there with a girl who
You're like-
got locked.
Yeah, you're gonna get home and she's gonna be like, "It must have been your other girlfriend."
Who was this
Yeah.
person you went to Penn's
Which
Tavern
one got
with?
locked in there?
No. That's not
No,
true.
she's
Rochelle's
very nice.
awesome.
Yeah,
she
she's-
wouldn't do that.
Well, you know, I do that
No, I'll
to my
feel
wife
it.
all the time. If she says, "Oh, I thought you liked this," it's like that's your other boyfriend.
Yeah, it must have been your other boyfriend.
Now there's a handyman ghost that's seen there,
Oh, that's
dressed in early 1900s clothing.
I like that.
I think he's been seen in the near the fireplace of the building.
Yeah.
Trying to fix the fireplace.
My friend Beverly Conrad and Greg Burgess joined in on a ghost hunting group who were investigating, and they were playing German tunes and whatnot,
Like we normally do.
and trying to summon up spirits. And they did get a mist that seemed to form.
A mist.
Near the fireplace, and when they took a picture, you could see a face
Oh, wow.
in the form.
That's
So-
cool. Is that picture online anywhere that people could see it?
I think she had her daughter draw charcoal of it.
Oh,
I've
but they
seen
have a
it.
picture of it?
They have a picture. Beverly Conrad does.
That's
so
cool.
I'll have to reach out
That'd
to her.
be really neat to see.
Now, I said that the woman in the blue dress is assumed to be Marie Cox. A waitress named Christy saw a woman in the red dress in the main dining room, and she thought it was just a person. She's like walks up to him and says, "May I help you?" And the girl disappeared before her eyes.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
So
I never know what to do.
obviously, this ghost in the red dress doesn't appear as a ghost. She looks like
yeah.
just a regular person.
corporeal.
Full.
Yeah.
Wow.
Full bodied, fully there.
Yeah.
Not like this misty see-through
So maybe she's
thing.
a time traveler.
Maybe it's on a portal.
Yeah, maybe. But then she's always in the red dress, though.
Yeah.
But then again, like our whole concept of time, like who knows what it is? That she could be 1 second, could be 100 years.
She ain't lying.
now, in
He
2002,
ain't having it.
No, he's like, no, I'm just gonna skip right past that.
He's like, she's talking about time travel. I'm gonna go ahead and keep reading. And
right.
here we're back to Penn Tavern.
I'm not a woman stopping for a 6-pack saw a group of soldiers in the kitchen. When I said that,
Yeah,
they were at
that's
the bar.
cool, man.
What are they doing in the kitchen? Are they like just
barring it.
eating or making food? Like
On that incident, I think they were just talking amongst themselves. Like
In the
she
kitchen.
could hear,
yeah.
like muffled talking.
Oh, and she's
between
up
them.
playing cards sometimes too, right?
Yeah,
Or was it maybe a different person?
another person saw him playing cards.
Yeah.
So, but there's obviously some energy. Ooh, I got a chill. An energy there.
Oh.
Now, in 2001,
Where's your?
a group of ghost hunters visited the site. That's when Beverly Conrad got the image of the handyman. In 2002, CPPRA, one of my ghost hunting teams that I was a part of, they investigated the site, and all they got was footsteps, but they got flickering lights. So
That's
they didn't
cool.
get a lot.
At Penn's Tavern,
At
flickering
Penn's Tavern.
lights.
Now, there's some former
I
owners.
don't know.
I'm becoming more and more convinced that like when you do ghost hunts, it's great if you get some the first day, but I think it's going to be very rare. I think ghosts are people, like, right? You know, so you might not want to make contact right away with someone when you just meet them. Maybe they're not familiar with ghost
be.
hunting. So like I'm just saying, like, I think it's worth investigating a place more than once.
Yeah.
To allow them to get to know you,
Well,
know.
Even just us. I mean, I've
Right.
known Ryan for like 20 years, but you and I just got to meet each other like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And like our conversations from a year ago are much different than they are today.
Sure.
You know, because we built a rapport. Mm-hmm. And I think you do have to get that rapport.
Right. Exactly.
They have to get to know who you are, what your intentions are.
Yeah.
You're not going to, any new person you meet, you're not going to be like right away, like, "You're my
Yeah,
best
just
bud."
answering this random stranger who's like demanding you touch a light to make it go off.
touch his
You know,
light.
let us know you're here. Like that's great, but maybe we need to like just slow down and take our time a little bit with
And
these
it
investigations.
also really bugs my wife in the fact that we're like, we got K2 meters like back behind me, and you're asking a ghost from the 1700s to touch a K2 meter,
Which they have no idea what it is.
They don't know anything. What
What's
electricity is.
Yeah.
Until the 1750s. I mean, no one knows what electricity is.
Right.
So, it's kind of crazy the things we assume they know, or that they even speak English.
Oh, fair enough, man.
You're dealing with lots of freaking Germans in this area. Even if they were talking to me in German, I'm not going to understand a damn word they're saying.
I told you, for me, top of the peak is the caveman ghost.
Yeah.
I want to see the caveman
I'm
ghost.
with
You want a
there.
ghost that comes out and starts grunting.
Yeah.
It's like, Yeah.
That's what I'm like, dude, that's a real ghost right there.
That would sell to anybody.
He's seen a woolly mammoth, that ghost.
But the thing is, someone like me would be like,
Or better.
oh, that's just grunting. That's this or that. They would just completely say it's not bogus.
It's on my list. I need to meet a caveman ghost.
It needs to be in like a loincloth.
Yeah,
like,
it has to.
Oh, you got to get a visual, like a club.
Yeah.
Like Captain
One
Caveman.
Ugg for yes, 2 Uggs for no, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, that might work.
I can do it.
that.
I love how Ugg is always the default sound that the caveman makes.
What else would it be? I mean, something
Right?
guttural.
I don't know. I think it'd be like Captain Caveman.
And
pretty good.
son.
Oh, and son. Yeah, right.
I used to like and son.
Now,
I used to like the Ann Sun guy. I don't know what his name was, but I liked him.
I like Captain Caveman.
I like the whole thing.
I did too.
Now, going back to the 1703 date, I do want to point out that that sign would have been made in 1981 by Charles Shadle.
Actual sign?
Yeah, so the date of 1703 only goes back to this 1981 with
There's
Charles
no
Shadle.
way
So did
this
he
sign
just
is
pick
that
that
old.
year?
I think so.
He really is just like,
I think 1703.
There's no way.
That sounds like a good year.
I'm pretty sure.
What do they do? Paint it all the time? That's fresh white paint on there.
Now, my aunt's a friend of one of the former owners. One of the former owners is Buddy Baker, and he owned it from 1985 to 1990, and he had a lot of activity there.
Really?
Yeah.
He noticed a lot of ghost stuff.
He lived there. He owned the tavern, and he had his wife there, his daughter, who I think her name was Brittany, lived there and was a small child in a crib, and he would hear footsteps. And he had like a baby monitor, because his daughter's upstairs, and he's downstairs, and he's working. And he would hear a man talking to his daughter.
Wait, through the baby monitor?
Through the baby monitor.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's definitely some creepy
after a
thank
couple
you.
dozen times of going upstairs and finding his daughter completely alone in her room,
Right.
he just stopped going up. Because it was not being a negative.
Right.
It wasn't a negative interaction.
Sure.
So the baby wasn't being woken up
She wasn't crying. She wasn't afraid. It was something that was like trying to tend the child.
No,
Was she
it's just
awake
a
most of the
ghost, leave it
times
be.
that he was-
Sometimes she'd be talking to the man.
Oh, she'd talk back to it.
So he'd be downstairs, and after this had been happening for months and months, people would start hearing the customers would start hearing the man talking to the kid.
What?
And they'd be like, "Aren't you going to go up and check on your daughter?" He'd be like, "No, I've gone up there dozens of
There's
times.
no one there."
You go up.
There's nothing there with her, and it's nothing that's going to hurt his daughter."
Yeah.
So he just stopped. He just kind of ignored it.
Yeah.
It
So,
was
and
just-
that's separate voice. You're hearing a man's voice as opposed to two different females.
Yeah,
We've
you're-
seen, now we're hearing a man.
So maybe it's the handyman. Maybe it's maybe it's one of the soldiers.
But
Who
you said
knows?
it's in German or not?
No,
Oh,
no.
It's in English.
I'm assuming, I don't know if he could actually even make out the words, because a lot of times when you hear voices, it's almost like muffled.
Sure.
you
Yeah.
know, and especially on ghost hunts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just in Sunbury, I was on a ghost hunt, and you could hear. It was a site that was on a former school, and we could hear the muffled sound of people talking to each other, like the murmuring that would happen between classes.
yeah, that's gross.
But you couldn't make out any of particular words.
Sometimes I feel like that energy just sticks with buildings, though, too, right? Like,
Yeah, like maybe it's residual where
Yeah.
it's just replaying something,
yeah,
you know. And since it's
Yeah.
an old recording, it's kind of garbled.
yeah, exactly. The tape's worn out.
But Buddy Baker himself has saw the woman on the stairs,
The woman in red.
the one in red. And it was during his time of owning it that the soldiers were seen in the dining room. And a woman was also seen looking out the window. Now, there's got to be some real ghostly activity where there's a conscious entity. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that Buddy has reported is that he's actually heard his name called at the site. So,
Oh, you know that's where I draw the line, right?
so you don't want to
You
hear
got
your
my
name?
name?
I do.
Yeah.
See, I want that.
It's
Nope, I'm good on that.
weird. Like my ghost hunting team, one of the things that we
Yeah.
like to do is when we do an EVP session, we'll ask, would you like to talk to Steve? Would you like to talk to Christy? Because a ghost might
you're
have a
using the names?
connection
Okay, yeah.
to
Yeah,
one
that's
of
a
us.
good idea.
Or feels.
And one time, the ghost said my name. So when that happens, though, the person that they usually request starts getting a lot of answers to all the questions that they ask. So it's like they have, like you were saying, they have that connection with you.
Yeah.
And you are the person that they connect with. Most of them, I'm not the guy they usually pick. Mm-hmm. So it's usually a woman that's there that seems like the most inviting or comforting for a spirit to talk to.
Yeah.
Because women are genuinely seen as not as threatening.
Yeah.
More non-threatening.
Sure.
Unless you're married to the woman, then they're
Then they're a threat.
then it's
yeah.
It could be a whole different story.
totally different story.
So you're not threatening. That's apparently.
Or there was just a connection with that specific spirit that they connected with you for some reason.
Exactly. I think how we connect with each other on personal levels is the same way a ghost can connect.
Sure. That's why I'm like just definitely a proponent of doing like the multiple day ghost hunts. I think that just makes sense for everybody to get used to each other, feel each other out.
And I also think like wavelengths. Like if you are on a certain wavelength, there are a lot of different ghost tales where two people are in the same room.
Yeah.
And one person sees the ghost and then the second person doesn't. So there's got to be something about the paranormal
Like
activity.
frequencies,
like, are
maybe.
you and that ghost on the same frequency that you
Right.
can see it, but your sister, who's right next to you,
Yeah.
can look in the same corner and see nothing?
I always think that's weird. Yeah.
Like,
Is that ghost choosing to just select you?
that's what I'm wondering. Like, is the ghost
Or are
choosing
we
to
Or
to
certain
appear 'cause-
people more
Able
open
to
to
see
it.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, because they say like little kids can see things that us
yeah,
adults
say
can't.
Kids can see all that
Because
stuff.
we have built up a
No, that kid stuff is creepy, man.
Oh, speaking of, so I was watching, this is weird, but I was watching America's Funniest Home Videos, and one of the videos that was nominated to win, it was this little boy, he's like 4 years old, and he was crying, and he's looking at his mom's belly and going, that used to be my home. I want to go home. I just want to go home.
Oh my god.
And she's like, you understand you couldn't be there? He goes, but that was my nice little home. It was a little creepy, but it made me wonder, like,
kid
how
thought-
much can children remember? My brother Nathan swears he remembers being in the womb.
There's no way.
Well, they're twins, so my brothers are twins. So that makes me think maybe because there'd be like another entity to interact with, which would maybe
Yeah.
cement a memory.
Memories,
He
possible.
swears he can remember being
That's ridiculous.
in the womb.
If I was that kid's dad, I would have been like, get into your home.
Yeah.
Are you too good for your home?
Go to your home.
No, but it's like the whole thing with like babies being able to see ghosts. It seems like more, or
yeah,
spirits.
because of that. Or
They're
pets.
so closely connected, to death. Maybe like reincarnation, and like so maybe he really could remember that, and maybe that little boy really did remember being in his mom's belly. And
Hey, That's cool. I hope he does remember. Yeah. I'm not trying to take that from him.
I do have the oldest memory I have. I was in a crib.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything other than whose room I was in. I was in my grandparents' room, and my brother was in the crib with me. So obviously we had to be freaking tiny as hell.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember looking at the ceiling and hearing the voices downstairs.
Yep.
But it's probably no more than 30 seconds worth of an image of a time.
That's craziness, though.
But it always...
Most people don't remember that back that far.
I can
Especially
remember.
not in the womb.
No, I can't remember in the
just
womb.
weird, like...
But I remember like Steven does. I remember being very young, like in my dad's backpack, like taking walks along the river in Sunbury when I was just an infant.
But beyond that one,
You know?
that one memory, the next memories that I have are all 5 years old, 6 years old and up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have many memories. Now, I did want to mention one more thing about Buddy. Buddy, during a thunderstorm, Buddy, since he lived there, heard a noise or something, and he went downstairs naked.
All right.
You know, it's not open, so nothing bad. But he heard a window like rattling or something. So he goes downstairs, and he went to close the window facing the row of homes. Okay, which is kind of between Penn's Tavern and Sunbury. And as he did this, as he closed the window, he heard a woman's voice shriek from the bar area, and he thought it was because he was naked in front of a woman that this woman's voice was shrieking. Like, he scared her.
He scared the ghost.
So I thought that was an interesting take, you know?
Yeah.
To me, if the woman was shrieking, maybe if the woman in red story had any validity, which we don't know. Like, obviously no one recorded, hey, yeah, I killed this girl. If she'd see a naked man, that would make the woman in the red dress shriek. Because obviously...
Just from seeing a man.
Yeah.
Because her last, time on the earth would have
been traumatic. And,
a traumatic being attacked by by
Yeah.
naked men. So...
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that could... Wow. Traumatize the
Makes
ghost.
sense.
So I think I think Buddy, who he's a friend of my aunt's. They talk all the time. I think he's scared of ghosts.
I'd be proud of that, man.
I think he should be proud of that.
I'd wear shirts that said, I scared a ghost.
The ghost, yeah.
Yeah, right. Maybe we should make him one.
I like that.
Make him a shirt. Slice of the paranormal. I scare ghosts.
I scare the ghosts. Ghosts don't scare me. I scare the ghosts.
That's a good one.
Frankenstein never scared me.
Right.
Possums do.
So that's pretty much what I got on Penn's Tavern.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Appreciate that. It was a fun place to go to.
it was.
So we didn't eat pizza there. We had good food there. But we ate pizza near there in Sunbury at a local, it's been around for a while, K&D's Pizza.
Yes.
K-N-D.
K, capital, lowercase n, D, apostrophe S pizza.
Yeah, you need to know this if you're going to look it up online.
K-N.
Yeah, it's not
K-N-D's.
K and D's.
Not Andy's.
K and D's.
D's.
Now, I love that we went there to eat the pizza, but can I make a confession?
Yeah.
They have amazing dogies. Why can't we
I know.
try a dogie?
Thank you,
wanted a
Stephen.
doggy.
Like, come on, people.
One of these days.
They do have great dogies.
They're
And if you
doggies
don't
are
know,
the best.
okay, so you're not from Central Pennsylvania. You don't know what a dogie is. A dogie is a pizza shell that's cut in half the long way.
The flat way.
The flat way. And then in between it, they make it like a turkey sandwich or a
Any
buffalo
kind of
chicken
sub.
sandwich
Yeah.
or cheesesteak or whatever you want
Yeah, like a
between it.
regular hoagie right
Any
there.
kind of hoagie,
And-
hot or cold. I've seen
And
it.
then
Put that top
back on.
back on that
Cook
sucker.
it.
And then you got a hoagie pizza slice.
Pizza slice of hoagie. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. It doesn't sound great, but it's fantastic.
They are good.
Amazing. And for like a lot of places in PA, they make these dogies But K&D's makes them the best.
There's a lot of good ones, but K&D is, I will agree, they have a top-notch Dogie.
They have a top-notch Dogie. Yeah, there's others that are really good. I know I tried one in Shamokin and it was good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the place is called Dogie's.
Dogies.
Oh,
Dogies.
yeah.
I think that place is called, I can't remember. Hold on.
Tacos.
Never mind. I can't remember. Oh, Dogies.
Dogies. Yeah, that's it.
All right, here we go. K&D's of Sunbury. Out of the way in downtown Sunbury. Pardon me. Locate pizza shop. We got a $9.99 half cheese, half pepperoni, hand tossed pie.
Yeah.
Steven, 3.5 out of 5. Solid pizza. I think we should give Steve a drink every time he says solid
pizza. Yeah.
Toppings go all the way to the edge. Sauce was perfect. Loved the cheese. Just the right amount and holds together fine. Pepperoni's a nice crispy edge. Pepperoni has a nice crispy edge.
Mm.
So 3.5. Nice. Christy, 3.5 out of 5. Same as
wow.
Steven.
Yeah.
So you tried pepperoni. Was a little greasy because there was so much of it.
Of the pepperoni.
Not a
yeah.
bad thing
Which is
No, but
never
some people, truly love. And I really like a lot of pepperoni if it's crispy and not too greasy, but that's a really tough call. You know, I mean, that's a tough order, I think.
To get pepperoni with no grease.
To get a lot of pepperoni with a little bit of grease and it be crispy.
Grease.
Right. I understand that. But I think it's out there. I think we'll find it one day, guys.
Right.
Pepperoni's a little greasy, but there was so much of it. But a quick wipe with a napkin solved that.
Oh, there you go. So that'd probably only just be a one napkin type.
There you go.
Slice.
Quick ratios were good.
Yeah.
I would have liked slightly thinner crust, but overall good quality pizza. I'd haunt. Ryan, 3.5 out of 5. Same score. Cheersies, but I don't have any drink left, so. Cheers.
3.5.
Whenever we get the same score, we like to cheers. This is the standard good pizza. I agree. No complaints. Cheese tasted great and sauce was fresh. I agreed with myself there. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's what just happened. Crust held up. Good quality from a local shop. I do like K&D's. I'm a sucker for this pizza. There's a couple good shops in Sunbury, but for $9.99, that pizza killed.
Yeah, you can't
right?
beat that.
Now, it was a special on whatever day we were there. Typically, they're $13 or $12.99 or $13.99.
Yeah.
But whatever day we were there, it was a special for $9.99. Come on. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have to say, like, they make great wings. They, you know, their food's really.
I haven't tried their
decent.
wings.
Oh, the wings are worthwhile.
Yeah.
They're definitely good.
And the Dogies. Yeah, overall, good food. My brother
So-
gets the flatbreads from there a lot.
Never had the
Yeah.
flatbread.
Now, you said I'd haunt it. I said that I'd haunt it. What about you guys? Would you guys haunt that one or ghost it?
I do haunt it.
Yeah,
You do
already
haunt
haunted
it.
It's one of your normals?
It's one of my normals
One of
because
your
it's so
normal
close.
haunts.
You know, I go to K&D's a lot. You know, in fact,
Yeah.
I go there as much as I go anywhere
Yeah.
like, locally. And for Sunbury, that's the one I go to the most. And you know,
Over Juji's?
over Juigi or
Juji's?
Juji's?
Yeah, or Luigi's.
Yeah, I go there more.
Over anything, apparently. And Steve
But
eats a lot of
but-
pizza.
I do. Well, yeah, not so much anymore. The podcast has made it so that I
Screwed you all up.
Well,
I'm like,
I can't eat pizza. Do you know
I'm
what I
now
ate today?
allergic.
We got back, 2-day bender. We had 8 pizza shops in 2 days.
no, did we only have 8?
8. Yeah, because we only did 3 the second day.
8
Okay.
in 2 days. I get back and my girlfriend's like upset because I don't want pizza, so I let her get pizza. Like, they're like, just get pizza. I'm like, okay, pizza it is. So 3 days.
Are you kidding?
No, that's what
Oh
I
my
ate last night was
God.
pizza again. That's all I
Plus,
eat anymore. I don't
this
think
is also
I eat.
the guy that ate the extra grandma slice too.
Yeah, we're at
Yeah.
we're at Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Sampling a pizza, and he gets an extra damn slice,
of
That's a
grandma,
grandma
which
slice.
is a
a
thick,
grandma slice,
It's so good.
thick slice.
and that was in between pizza shops 4 and 5.
This is a true story. Listen.
you hear
Also,
anything in our
alcohol.
voices?
Just saying.
Like I was like, oh, we're getting an extra 5th pizza shop.
Your faces with the 5th pizza. If I should have took pictures. Because you're both like,
Which is the one we wanted to try first.
I guess.
Yeah, we were like, that was the first one we saw. We come out of Hollywood Casino, and there's a pizza place. And Ryan's like, no, let's walk down this way.
Yeah.
Let's walk.
So
We need some steps.
I don't know.
Oh, well, we'll get there in that episode.
Yeah,
but,
we'll explain more later.
So, but overall, K&D's Pizza, 3.5. 3.5 out of 5. Great score.
That is a great solid
score.
And the
Solid.
fact that we all liked it and would all haunt it, that
Yeah.
says something.
For
Well,
sure.
they were friendly there too, and it's
They
near the
are.
high school too, so it's good for the kids to walk to after their practice and stuff.
Yeah, and they
you
can
know.
Gamble. There's like the...
That's why I eat there so often. It's literally right across the street from my brother's house, so I'll eat there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Once every couple months.
No, and they even have those desserts, like the cakes and stuff. So,
Oh, yeah. They got
You know?
good stuff.
They have pie.
K&D's.
they have pie.
We could do
Sunbury,
slice of pie
good
sometime.
stuff.
I am with you.
I wanted to say thank again to Cup of Code for sponsoring us.
Yep.
Before we move along. And is there anything else, or is that's it, right?
That's it for me.
Sunbury.
Yeah. So everybody, please like, subscribe. Any comments that anybody has really makes a big difference.
Go to Facebook,
out.
Instagram, TikTok, all that. Like our
Yeah.
stuff there, whatever you want to do.
And join us next time you crave a slice of the paranormal.
This podcast was produced by Stone State Entertainment.